Good evening and welcome to What's Your Story? Tonight we have a very, very special guest. This guy is interesting, he's humorous, he's funny. He talks about his life in a way that many of you will be able to relate to. His name is Keno, and in that name itself is a story. I am really, really happy tonight to have here on this show Mr. Keno White, otherwise known throughout Connecticut for many, many years as Dr. Love. Welcome to the show, Dr. Love.
How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Let's start at the beginning here. Let's tell people you are a DJ, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you done that and where do you do it?
I've been there 25 years and I work on WRTC Trinity College.
Okay, so let's talk about 25 years at Trinity College. What are some of the things you've seen come and go?
I've seen a lot of bad people, good DJs, bad DJs.
Who are some of the famous people you've met in those 25 years?
I have met Maceo Parker, George Clinton.
Who's Maceo Parker? Tell the audience.
Maceo Parker is from James Brown's band.
James Brown's band.
Yes.
Maceo.
Maceo.
Yeah, all right, who else?
I have met George Clinton.
And who's George Clinton?
Parliament Funkadelic.
Funkadelic.
Yes,
all right, go on. Who else?
I have met, wow.
Just escaping your name right now, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Right.
There's a lot of people I have met. Bootsy Collins.
Bootsy Collins.
And he came from George Clinton, then went solo.
Yeah.
And then I have met like Blood, Sweat, and Tears in Chicago.
You actually met Chicago, huh?
Yes, yes.
You know what? I often think about Chicago. They are one of the more famous, unknown groups around. I mean, I don't hear anything usually in the media about Chicago, and they're fantastic.
I thought they was like one of the best groups when I was growing up.
Absolutely.
You know that's my time of music.
Yes, yes.
So, and being on the radio is like, it's good because those groups that we're just talking about, they don't get national play like it normally does.
Yes.
So being on college radio, it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
And I try to exploit that out there to the audience.
Now, what's your special type of music? You do Funkadelic, don't you?
Well, I do a funk show on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays I do grown folks music, and then Friday nights or Saturday nights when I come on, I just do love and music.
Now tell the audience what a funk show is all about.
Well, the funk show is mostly based on like Clinton, James Brown, Confunction. It's more like a Sly and the Family Stones. It's more like a bass beat thing, you know. It's funky.
Do you have an audience for that now?
Yes, we do. The funk show has been on RTC for almost 32 years. It came from Craig Black and the late Van Johnson.
Yeah.
And then I came in and they introduced me to it, and the funk is still going.
The funk is still going.
The funk's still going.
Ain't we funky now?
I mean, funk is like something that it can never go away. I mean, because even the rappers of today, they took all that music from the funk people, James Brown, George Clinton, Brothers Johnson.
Wasn't there the Funk Brothers at Motown?
Well, there was a lot of funky groups. Well, Commodores was one of the funkiest groups in Motown. Yeah. And I felt that they was like one of the best until, Lionel had tried to go on his own. And that's when the funk didn't.
That's when the funk didn't funk anymore.
No more.
That didn't funk anymore.
No, because once you start doing that Vegas shows, then it's over.
It's over.
It's over. You know what I'm saying? When you're playing, 120 days straight, that it's over,
Now, when I interviewed you, you told me about your collection of music.
Yes.
And your collection of videos.
Yes.
And your collection of 45.
Yes.
And your collection of albums.
Yes.
All right, tell the audience how many 45s you estimate you got. And tell them what a 45 is, because remember, we may have people listen who don't know what a 45 record is.
Well, I have maybe over 3,000 45s. 45s is a small thing that used to have the yellow thing disc that you put on your record player, and it would go down. That's telling my age. But anyway, a 45, you know, like I have classic 45s that are like worth a lot. Like I have the Beatles, like when it's on the Apple label.
Really?
You know, I have James Brown when he had his picture on the King label, and the Blue label. That was like growing up. That was like what my mom's had did, was playing 45s and 78s back then. A lot of people don't even know what 78s are.
Right,
78s
right.
is in between a 45 and a 33.
Yeah.
And it's real heavy.
Yeah.
You know? I have like maybe 400 or 500 of those. That was from my mother's collection. And then as I started collecting it, moving on from 45s, I went to 33s, which is the album, the long ones. And I have over 36 milk crates with 100 albums in each. I have like over 3,000 cassettes. I still have 8 tracks. I have a reel-to-reel, but I'm working on getting some of that stuff now back. I don't know, when it comes to music, I'm like a hoarder. I collect, you know. And the good thing about having all that music and stuff is that being on the radio, I get to share with other people that don't get to hear it, because being alone, you know, how many times you're gonna play that record?
Absolutely,
You know? So being on the radio, that helps me exploit all that music out there to the people. Like I don't just do one kind of show. I'm free. You know, I play Engelbert Humperdinck, Tom Jones. You understand? I play anything that I grew up on that sounds good. You know, music, you know, you don't discriminate in music. Music is something that comes from the heart. So anything that got a voice for me in a band, I play it.
Absolutely. So now, tell the audience, if let's say you're coming in to do your show. We live in a modern world. Both of us are DJs, and we go to the studio, and I still use the CDs to do my show. What do you bring in to do your show? Do you have a computer? Do you have albums? What do you do?
I bring mostly albums and CDs, and you know, sometimes I grab a stack of music. I don't plan my show.
Okay.
I just grab a stack and I bring it in there and I make something out of it. I don't use laptop and all that. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
You know, I could have had many a show. I could have many a jobs in professional places where, you know, you have to use the laptop and the computer stuff. That's not really doing radio to me. Radio is when you put the record on.
Yeah, that's right.
You understand?
Yeah,
And you hear the sizzling of the
that's
record.
Right, that's
you
right. You hear
understand?
the crackle of the record.
The cracking of the record.
That's right,
you
that's
understand?
right.
Or you put a CD on. You know,
Yeah.
it might have a little scratch or something.
Yeah.
Or back in the days, like, you know, you put a nickel on the arm
On
of
the
the record.
arm to hold it so it would scratch. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm still old-fashioned. You know,
Yeah.
I'll not change over. Once in a while, I might use YouTube to look over there. It's only because I didn't bring something that I want to mix it into my music.
Yes.
But I'm strictly old school.
Strictly old school.
Old school.
Not gonna change.
It'll never change.
That's your story, and you're sticking with it.
And I'll stick with it till the day I die.
All right. Now, tell the audience a little bit about how you got the name Keno. I mean, that's an unusual and an interesting name. Tell the audience how you wound up with the name Keno.
Well, that's not, well, the way I've gotten the name Keno was my father was a professional gambler.
Okay.
And back then it was Pokeno. And he was just so busy playing Pokeno, and my mother was saying it was time for her to go. He was too busy playing the game, so I was born on a card table.
An actual card table.
An actual card table. Like, I was born in Harlem, and I have a down south birth certificate. You don't have too many birth certificates that says your address, your apartment, you know.
Yeah.
So, like when I was young and we used to be in school, I used to always have many fights over that, because you know how you sit around the table and it was like, yo, where was you born?
Right, right.
Oh, I was born in Harlem. I was born in Hartford Hospital. Where was you born, Dr. Love? Let's move on. Anyway, you know, so I even have a picture I showed you, that I was born on the card table, you know, and I couldn't wait until I was like 18 to ask my mother finally, you know, why'd you name me Keno when my father's name was Jasper? And then she told me that he was a no good gambler and he was too busy playing cards, and that's why you're here on the table. So, you know.
That's fascinating in and of itself right there.
It is, because, you know, when I tell people that and they're like, really? Nah. And then, you know, I'm like, listen to my name. How many people you hear Keno?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, it's a gambling name, you know. I even went into a store one time and I went to play some numbers, and I don't gamble because I don't know. I think that's why, you know, from that. But anyway, I went to play a couple of numbers, and so I told the man who I was, and he was like, oh, no, they don't have people's names like that. I'm like, yes, sir. So I said, if I show you my license and everything, can I get that sign there that says Keno? You know, the ones they have there?
Yeah.
He's like, okay. So I showed him, oh my God, really? Take it down now. Yeah. So it's in my house now.
All right.
So, you know, I love my name. I mean, at first I was like upset because I was named Keno, so I named my kids Keno.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and then, you know, and my other son's name is Ken.
Yeah.
I kept it in the Keno family.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just, I don't know what to say about it. It's weird, but it's good.
Now, when I interviewed you prior to the show,
yes,
you were very candid and open, and you talked about growing up in Harlem and some of your experiences would put you on the other side of the law. But that's really not the part of it that held my attention. What held my attention was when you said to the Lord, if I get out of this, I'm not going to go back into this kind of lifestyle again. Would you talk a little bit about that? Tell us about that.
Oh, I'm not ashamed to talk about it because it's good for other people to learn from experiences that grown folks have been through.
All right.
And to live to talk about it. But, you know, I was on the other side of the law. You know, I thought I was all this and that. I was out there hustling, doing bad things and everything. And then I used to get in trouble and I used to go to jail. And my mother used to always say that she would never come and visit me if I got in, you know, in trouble, keep getting in trouble. And, you know, I was just out there bad, you know, making money but wasn't saving money. You understand what I'm saying? I was making money but wasn't really saving money, you know, because I thought when I was doing that then, everybody was my friend.
Yes.
And to come to find out that nobody was really my friend. And then one time I just like went and I made a promise to God that if I ever come back to this place, I want you to take me, because this is not for me. I'm more useful on the outside than I was inside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even proud of the things that I have done. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, I invented bass, crack. People didn't even know what that stuff was back in the days, and I was making money like it was like water, you know, and I was spending it like it was nothing. So, did I have anything to show for it after? No, but headaches and ruining my family, and, you know, it tore us apart because, you know, I had so much potential where, you know, my mother would say, you're starting to become like your father, you know what I'm saying? No good, you know, that gambling, that hustling. So I had one day I just said that this is it, it's over. And it's been over 30-something years. I haven't gotten in trouble. Knock on wood.
Well, kudos to you, my man. Kudos to you.
Yes.
Yeah. So faith played a real key role in your life, did?
Well, faith, yeah, because I realized that when I was out there doing all that hustling and all that
gangster stuff.
That gangster stuff, I was only making, like I taught my kids that you are the leader, not a follower. And see, I was a follower.
Yeah.
I was following everybody. Nobody could tell me nothing. Whatever they did, yes. But then when I got in trouble, there was nobody around. And then that's why I learned now that I keep, I keep my friends a distance and my associates close. Mm-hmm. Because I don't trust what I've been through. I've been through so much that now that, you know, it's like, my best friends is Jefferson, Adam, and Grant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I could depend on them because of the stuff that I've been through. Because everybody's your friend when you're making money or you got something. But then when you don't have it no more, nobody's your friend.
Nobody wants you when you're down and out.
There you go. Bobby Womack.
Bobby Womack. That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So, I've been through it. I prayed, and now I'm doing good.
Now you're good. Tell me about getting stuck in the station and having to broadcast for hours and hours. What's the longest you've been on air because you were stuck in the station because of weather?
I have done, in my 25 years, I have done over 20 19-hour shows.
Wow.
Where people would not come because of snow, or they couldn't make it for weather,
for whatever reason.
Whatever reason.
Yeah.
I have done like maybe over 50, 15-hour shows. I dedicate my time to the station. I mean, if I'm not home, I'm at the station. That's it, simple plain. The going out days and all that is not me. I might do a party here and there, but I'm more focused on radio because radio is, it's a passion for me. Where I'm not a DJ. You understand? Like we all call DJs.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm not a DJ. I'm an entertainer.
That's right.
You understand? I put myself in a different category than other people. Like when we come in, when we out there, when people are on the air and everything, they're trying to outplay each other. What like they call it nowadays, beef or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a better DJ than this DJ and all that.
Yeah.
No, when I walk in the door, my lifestyle is I'm more of an entertainer. Like I said, I'm a Cousin Brucey. Dick Clark.
You throw Wolfman Jack in there?
Wolfman Jack, Don Cornelius.
Yeah.
I'm in that category because I play music all around, across the board.
Yeah.
Hal Jackson. You understand? I'm into that kind of music where I don't categorize music. I play everything for everybody to hear so everybody get the feeling of what's out there. Because there is a lot of good music out there, especially in the 70s, the 50s, 60s, 70s music, where that music meant something.
It did, yeah.
You understand? Nowadays, music don't mean nothing. You understand? I mean, I don't go to no place where if there's not a band playing. Like I just can't go see 10 guys running up and down the stage with a microphone and their pants falling down. That's not entertaining. You understand?
Yes.
Entertaining is when you see a 15-piece band up there, and they all trying to play what they got. Some of them miss chords and all that, but you don't even know it. You're just too busy into that music. You're seeing a band.
Yeah.
And that's what's good about being, on the radio and being in that category that I'm in.
When did you know you had a passion for radio? When did you learn that?
Well, I learned that I was blessed. Like one day when I was moving up here, I was driving, and R&B music on RTC only came on at nighttime.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't know nothing about that. And I'm driving, and when you get from New York to Connecticut, you lose BLS and all that.
Yeah.
So I started picking up this. So then there was this gentleman on there, and he was playing music, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, man. So I called him up, got a little record played. But the best thing about it was the next day, a couple of days later, they had a funk show on.
Yep.
And they was trying to give away tickets. So I called up, and they said, name this band, and I named it, and I just rattled off all these music. And they were like, would you like to come down and audition for radio? I was like, sure. I've been there since. And when I say that I put my passion into it, I really put my passion in, like, for example, like, I don't drive that much now because, I'm the city guy. I love to walk around.
Yep.
I get up 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm saying, while the family's still sleeping and everything.
Yeah.
I get up 3 o'clock in the morning, take a shower. I'm out of my house at 4 o'clock. I walk 1.5 miles to catch a bus to come to the radio station.
Wow.
And I've been doing that for 25 years. I'm like the mailman. Rain, sleet, snow, shine. I walk there to catch the bus to get to the radio station.
Radio is your mistress, isn't she?
Radio is home from home. You know, many times my family had told me why I just lived there. You know, like when I first started out, like I said, I used to bring my kids there. I used to walk and make my kids, I used to tell them, you know, exercise is good by walking. So I used to walk. When I started out on radio, and you know that, we start out at 2 o'clock at night. I used to walk at 1 o'clock in the morning with my kids to the radio station. I used to bring a sheet and a blanket in my book bag so they could sit on the couch and get nodded out. Then when I used to bring them there, as they got to be 8 and 12, then it was like, you know what? You guys need to learn how to do radio. So I taught them how to do radio, and they had their own shows. And I used to sit on the couch and go to sleep. So radio and music is in our blood. You know what I'm saying? My house is nothing but music.
So what would you say to young people aspiring to get on radio today? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them that if you're really passionate for it, you go out and get it. You understand? You go out there and you reach and you grab for it. Don't go in there half it. You know, if you're not really into it, like I tell some of the people that we have now and out with us, if you're not really into this, don't. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you know me as us working in the radio. That you could call me up right now and say you're not coming. I'll be there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because radio is my thing, and I go to work after. You know what I'm saying? Or work before. You know what I'm saying? And come back to the radio again. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, we all got hobbies. Like some people like to tinker with cars. Some people like to, you know, do baseball cards and all that. Radio is my life.
Where can people hear you? What station?
89.3 RTC.
WRTC.
WRTC. We're worldwide. We're on the web, www.wrtcfm.com. We're on TuneIn Radio. We're on podcasts. We're on Simple Radio. We're really out there. And I have a big audience. I mean, I have a big audience where I'm saying, like, when I come on at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's 2 o'clock in California.
And you still jam.
And people are listening to me over there. I have groove where I have people from California, Chicago, Atlanta, Illinois. They be looking for me, you know, like, when you coming on, when you coming on.
All right.
So, you know.
Do your thing, Doc.
I love it.
Doc, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
My pleasure, Jim.
That's all the time we have for tonight's show. I want to thank my special guest, Keno White, otherwise known as Dr. Love, for sharing his love of radio and music. Everybody has a story. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Good night.